Match day 21, I'm already feeling the heat because Medeama are in town.
Yes, Mutala is another time again for the Ghana Premier League. I think for this game, it's all about two teams who are unbeaten in different ways. For Nations FC, right here, 10 games at home, and they failed to taste even a single defeat. For Medeama, 17 games unbeaten. This is another crunch encounter between two sides that I actually believe they've given us the best in the Ghana Premier League this season.
Of course, and it's match day 21, not just this fixture. A lot of games will be played. Kotoko will visit Pando. I mean, there are lots of dynamics at play. The teams that are breathing down the neck of Medeama, it looks like it's a win at all costs for them. The likes of Heart of Folk, Asante Kotoko, and Adriana.
I think it's all about the chasers and the people who believe their standards and their reality when it comes to the Ghana Premier League. For Kotoko and Hearts, the standards is that you are supposed to win the league. But as it stands now, they've become chasers when it comes to the Ghana Premier League. Now, Hearts of Folk will be playing at home. Kumasa Asante Kotoko will be traveling to Pando. I believe for Heart of Lions, they believe this is the time to turn around their bad results.
But they've not been good enough.
They've won one game in 10. It's really frustrating for them. I think per their squad, what they have, how they started the season, I expected them to be far more in terms of their position on the table than what we are seeing from them now. For Koroko, there is intense pressure on the technical team to start getting results and start chasing Medeama to get to the top and make sure that they compete well for the league title. For Hearts of Folk, they've been very consistent with their away games, but at home, it becomes quite difficult for them to get results. So this weekend is really entangling to understand what Kotoko will go and do far away at Bando and what Hearts of Folk will be doing at home against other sides.
6 months back, Kotoko going to Heart of Lions would have been a scary one for them. But with the form of Heart of Lions coupled with the return of Albert Amoah, does that give Kotoko an added advantage going into the game?
Certain games are triggers to overturn results. I think for Kwando Heart of Lions, they might see this game as one game that could turn their season around. For Kotoko, this is a game to restore faith that they are in for the league and they can fight for the title. For Albert Amoah coming back, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him, linking up with Kwame Pukan. As I've already said last week, that the introduction of Albert Amoah back into the setup will not only improve Kotoko, but will improve Kwame Poku too. Let's see what the likes of Ishmelado, Eche Dogley, and the likes of Kwanzaa will give
Well, it's a big one. We'll be looking forward to that, as well as the Sunday game that is Heart of Folk against Bechim United, which will be live on this channel. You're still watching the Ghana Premier League on TV3 and on your TV. We take a quick breather. We'll return with more. All be in action. Razak Simpson will be captaining this side ahead of this big clash, and Frimpong Manso is their head coach. He took over from Kasim Mingo, who has also joined us Suedo All Blacks as their head coach, and he'll be playing his first game this weekend when they come up against Bibiani Gold Stars. But the last time the home side played here against Adriana, they got a famous 1-0 victory, and we'll be hoping that they get 3 points again. For Medeama, there you have their dressing room, one of the teams that has a huge squad depth. The likes of Fuzi Taylor, Prince Owusu, all in the starting lineup. But one man who is missing this afternoon and has a place on the bench is their striker, Salam. His place has been taken by Kingsley Breye, and Jacob Amumensa all would be in action as Medeama would hope to consolidate their position at the top of the Ghana Premier League table. There you have the arrival of the nation's team. This is how they made their way to the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex, cladded in their beautiful bars. Nations are the home side, and this is their home venue where they will be hoping that today, this afternoon, they will smile at the end by getting some 3 points. The likes of Emmanuel Ano and Faisal Chawate are no longer with the team, but they are still in contention to be one of the teams that will survive in this year's Ghana Premier League. Contrasting talks as compared to what we had last year, where they were talking about winning the title. This time it's about finishing strong. But the away side, Ibrahim Tanko, also formerly with Accra Lions, and now with the Medeama, is hoping to win his first Ghana Premier League title here. So Medeama also coming into this game without Kamaradini Mahmoudou, which Tanko says won't be a problem.
Yes, they have enough experience in the setup. If you have Yusuf Mubarak, who is a Ghana Premier League winner with Kumasi Asante Kodoko, there is Jacob Amumensa, who played with Accra Lions some time ago. Definitely there's Fatah Suleimana, who've been with this team for a long period of time, went to Sudan and I'm back with the squad. I think they have the needed experience to fill in the void for Kamaradini. Even I will say we'll have a lot of players that will complement him so well in the team. It's all about what they will do when they don't have the ball and what they will do when they have the ball.
Now, it was a simple tactics from Paul Manso the last time, going with the two top, and in fact got them the goal. Do you think they should change that system and tactics today coming up against Medeama?
I think the introduction of Richard Danso signifies one thing. It's about overloading the middle of the pack. You look at Medeama, how they play whenever they have the ball. It's all about who becomes the anchor, who breaks the line, and number 3, who becomes the box-to-box midfielder or the box crusher. But with Medeama, the ability to keep possession, the technical quality is already there. So you need midfielders that can be able to overload that central areas, be very calm, wait for the press triggers, and at the end of the day, they can win possession. And I think that is the reason why they chose to go with Richard Danso over Mashid.
Now, one thing about Medeama is that they don't change tactics, irrespective of where they find themselves, whether home or away. They would attack. I mean, looking at what they've done in the last couple of months, do you think that they really stand a big chance of winning to this evening?
I think when they have the ball, it's all about building patiently through their midfield trial. Then switch play to the wingers, where you have Derek Fodro and Kevin Nkrumah. They isolate the opponent's fullback in 1v1 situation. Very tricky on the ball, technically up there, can create a lot of chances. But I think one thing that makes them quite different is whenever there is a cross going into the penalty box, they have enough numbers right there to make sure that they are able to get the goal at the end of these crosses. Now, for Nations FC, how do they deal with this? They need to stay very compact. In as much as you are centralizing or you are trying to overload the central areas, there is a need for you to be very careful with your fullbacks not coming more centrally, just to make sure that they could be able to win the individual draws against these pacey wingers of Medeama that we've seen in the league.
Of course, and I'll take you through the starting lineup of the two teams very shortly because there are some nimble-footed players in there. But let's look at the statistics from the first round, where Nations played 9 games at home and actually won 5 of those games, where they drew 4. They've lost none here, but they managed to score 11 goals and also conceded 5 in the process. For Medeama, the away form has also been very encouraging. They played 8 games away and they also won 3, drew 4 of those games and lost just 1. It was against Karela in Tamale. Since then, they've been able to score 8 goals and they've conceded 6. So it shows that, I mean, Nations have been scoring a lot of goals, especially at the Dr. Kwame Chief.
And I think defensively, you look at the numbers too, and they look very compact.
Yeah.
Led by their captain Razak Simpson, who has been in splendid form for them at home. At the back line, I think if you have Emmanuel Boahin also coming in, the needed experience will be needed against a very good Medeama side. It's all about how you defend in totality, not necessarily about individual players winning their individual duels. It's about how compact you be, how aggressive you are going to be in every single phase whenever you are defending. That is what it means for them to be able to keep clean sheet against a very good Medeama side. Are they going to go with the aggressive press, or they are going to go with the situational press? I think for Nations FC, they will need to be very careful in terms of their pressing structure, especially when you are playing against a midfield trio that could play around your press. So you need to be very careful, time it so well, know when to put in the press and know when to get the ball, and quickly you can move into transitions and try and get your goal.
And it's going to be a big one for them because Frimpong Manso has named the starting 11 for this big one. Goalkeeper Bairu in post for them. Razak Simpson will be captaining. Richard Danso, Raymond Oko, Gripman, Kwame Boache. There is Frederick Njole also in there. Evan Safo, Emmanuel Boahin, Ayikwe, Akomia's favorite player also in there. Then there's Brandon and Chisapon together with Joseph Efa, who got them the goal the last time they played Adriana.
Absolutely brilliant goal the other time. A very good cross from Botwe. Then you could see Ifa at the end of that particular cross. I think they are going to miss the services of Botwe in this particular game. He brings a certain level of intensity to the middle of the park. Ivan Safo brings a little bit of control. It's a big day. It's a big day. It's a big day for any other player that comes in to fit in the absence of Isaac Botwe in that particular midfield role for Nations FC. Whenever they attack, they move in a 3-2 shape. That means the double pivot will need to sit right in front of the back three. That initiates the first phase build-up, which the two of them, one will need to break the lines. And I think for Botwe, he was splendid with that. In his absence, I'm really looking forward to who is going to be there.
If you think Frimpong Manso has named a very strong lineup, and then Ibrahim Tanko also has a full house because goalkeeper Felix Shea is in post. Captain Mubarak Yusuf is in there together with Fuzi Tila. Derek Fojo is starting this game. He also has Kelvin Nkrumah in the starting 11. And then Kingsley Braye, who has come in for Abdul Salam in there. Fatah Suleimana, Prince of Ousu, Salim Adams, Yao Osei, and Jacob Amu Mensah. Such a very strong lineup. But both coaches have arrived at the venue and we've had talks with them. For Frimpong Manso, he believes that winning this game would actually push them further away from the relegation zone. And for Tanko, the mission is one: win and consolidate your position at the top of the Premier League. It's match day 21. The last time you played a home game here, you won against Adriana. Then you went away to lose. What has been the conversation throughout the week to get back to winning ways?
Yeah, we've been together all this while. Now we're talking even more than training itself, because we need a lot of talking to make sure there are things we don't have to even train on that, but rather by communication we can. So we are doing a lot in terms of the communication, and they all understand the situation. So yes, they are all ready to push for the team. Yeah.
The first leg of this fixture ended in favor of your opponent, Adriana. I'm sure you've seen the clip and you've seen the goals that you conceded. You were not in charge. I mean, how difficult is it to play a team that has gone about 14 games without a defeat?
No doubt they are a good side. We know they are a good side, but then we are also playing at home, and at home we also want to win most of the games. It doesn't matter their pedigree, whatever. It's a game, and we hope to make sure we take our chances, and that is the most important thing.
With about 14 matches to end the season, how important will it be to get a victory this afternoon?
No, it will be of help. We need the points. In spite of that, the fact that they also want to go for the league, but we need these points more than them. So we'll make sure we try and then get the maximum points. Yeah.
Coach, wish you the very best.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach, good to have you. Match day 21. You are coming up against a team that has so far not had a great season. How difficult is it to play a side that is in dire need of 3 points like Nations FC?
Very, very difficult. I mean, Nations is a very good team with a very good coach. I mean, you know, the Premier League, you always have to fight for your points. And I think, yeah, we are here to fight for the points and see what will happen.
I mean, you've kept that consistency going. The last time you lost a game was last year, somewhere in October. How important would it be to continue that succession today?
Very, very important. I mean, if you have a target, you always have to do best to keep it. I hope that today will also be one of our games that we didn't lose.
Now, one of your best guns in Kamaradini Mahmudu is gone. Is it going to have any toll on the team and your title ambitions?
No, definitely we are going to miss Kamara, but I think we have people who will replace him, and I'm sure that they will do a good job as well. Thank you.
Ibrahim Tanko, head coach of Medeama, knows that the mission is to win the game here. Akomia, finally, before we go, how do you envisage the first 45 minutes?
I think for the first 45 minutes, you look at Nations, I think they will go long, locate Ayukwe, then fight for the second balls. For Medeama, I think they'll be very patient in their build-up. Play around the midfield press of Nations FC and decides to switch attack, especially looking at their wingers that will be hugging the touchline. And they'll try and create chances from a lot of crosses. But for the long balls and second balls, are you sure of it? If you're a player, you ask yourself, am I sure of it that I can get to the long balls and the second balls just to make sure that we occupy the spaces that will be left behind whenever there is an area duels between the centre back and the attacker?
Of course. Now you talked about that Medeama midfield of Salim, Fuzi Taylor, and of course Prince Owusu. What a midfield trio!
Yes, it's all about who is the anchor. Who is going to be the box-to-box engine midfield here, and at the same time, who is going to be the boss crusher?
It looks like Fuzi Taylor would be sitting in
definitely
front
in front of the back four,
four
because he is very patient when it comes to breaking lines and building up and all of these things in the first phase. For Salim Adams, he will be really motivated to be the box-to-box midfielder here and there, and I think Prince Owusu will love to be the boss crusher. Anytime there is an attack, he'll just move into the central spaces and help the attackers.
Well, let's see what happens in the first 45 minutes. Teams are already in the tunnel and ready to come on the pitch and do battle. So I hand you over to our team of commentators, Nana Dakwa Jesse and Calvin Osuansa. See you after the first 45 minutes.
In the heart of Ghana, a nation rich with natural resources and vibrant culture, lies the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, a beacon of excellence in the energy sector. For over 40 years since its creation, GNPC has committed to its mandate of developing Ghana's own petroleum resources to support the provision of adequate and reliable supply of petroleum product and reduce the country's dependence on crude oil imports, charting in the process. In education, the corporation has, among other things, constructed over 150 classroom and dormitory facilities and awarded over 4,000 scholarships to deserving Ghanaian students at the graduate and postgraduate education levels. Recognizing the importance of preserving Ghana's natural environment and the health of its people, GNPC has funded the construction of over 700 borehole water systems, 86 sanitary facilities, and 30 AstroTurf pitches to enhance physical and sporting health. GNPC, powering dreams.
It's time to believe in you. We are changing, so should you. If you dream
It's a showdown at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex in Abrankese as the inconsistent yet formidable and unbeaten home side Nations FC come up against league leaders Medeama Sporting Club. They are flying high on the summit of the league log with an 8-point cushion on top of the log. 35 degrees Celsius in Kumasi. Two teams are ready. We are good to go here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. It's Nations FC versus Medeama Sporting Club. My name is Nanada Akwajesi, together with Kelvin Owusu, and so we're your commentators for this afternoon's fixture here in Abrankese.
Very exciting fixture coming up. The two sets of coaches having a very, very undulating part. For Frimpong, so this victory will be good for him as he's trying to change the story of Nations Football Club right from the start of the season. For Medeama S. Ibrahim Tanko would want to keep up the momentum, picking up crucial points away to cement his position at the top and keep the Ghana Premier League title chase on course.
Medeama coming to this game from a thumping 3-1 win over Karela the other day at the TNA Stadium in Takwa, and Nations returned to their fortress here in Abrankese after losing to former champion Samurai Boy Samatex at the Century Sports Arena by 2-0 last week. They hope to bounce back to winning ways, and don't forget they remain unbeaten at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. After 10 home games, Nations have won 6 times and drawn 4 times. They are yet to lose at home, but Medeama equally remains the second best away performing side in the Premier League, and that provides the stage for an uncompromising contest between these two here.
Well, it will be very much exciting because these two teams play the very best of football matches. They are sides who believe in keeping the ball, keeping possession and keeping momentum high each and every time in the games. They've both lost players, and they'll be looking forward to seeing how this adjustment is not going to affect the two sets of teams. But for Medeama, it's very minimal. But for Nations, they know they have a very daunting task to defeat a team that has been blistering with an awesome and amazing form from the start of the season.
The mauve and yellow have turned up in their dominant yellow jerseys and purple colors over yellow stockings. Nations show up this afternoon here in our Abrankese in dominant white jerseys over white stockings to match. Razak Simpson will again lead the team, but the question is, how long is he going to stay around for Nations FC? Reports indicates that he's on his way to Finland to continue his career after serving this club in the last 3 competitive seasons. Simpson, his leadership has been very well felt here, and this is the lineup for Nations FC. Goalkeeper Adina Bariu in post. At right back is Emmanuel Boyne. It's been long since he played in the starting lineup for Nations. Razak Simpson and Gripman combines in central defense. Is the usual lineup of Boache at left back. Danso comes in on right to replace Mashoud, a far in midfield. They are missing the service of Isaac Boche, the Sapon in Zole. In the attack is Aite Ayikwe. Frimpong Mansu knows too well that a defeat here can spell doom for his stay with the Abrankese base side.
Well, and he's very eager to grab maximum points. You can understand, quite difficult for him missing out on his regular goalkeeper Sano, who is not in force, but expecting Hadina Bariu to put in that shift. Well, at right back, Mark Williams Boate and then Abdullah Mashoud are out of the team. The last time they played in the game, and it's quite surprising why they've been substituted, but it could be very much tactical. The injury to Boche may affect them. I expect even Safo and Ndolo to keep up that momentum.
Mubarak Youssef scored last season through a spot kick when they played here. Our referee for today's FIFA batch referee Rita Boaten in Kansas. She's assisted by Emmanuel Dolagbanu and Roland Adi. Now, the center referee for today, I'll tell you more about her pretty soon, but this is the lineup of Medeama. Ibrahim Tanko is keeping a consistent shape with Che Osei is replacing the departed Kamara Dini Mahmoud, who has left for Al Hilal of Sudan. Mubarak Yusuf, Jacob Amumensa, Suleiman of Fatau on the back 4 with Fuzi Taylor, Owusu, Adams in a 3-man midfield with Kingsley Breyer as the lead striker, Kelvin Nkrumah and Derek Fojo playing from the left and right wings for Medeama this afternoon.
Well, quite a very entertaining lineup, and you look at the right side of attack where Derek Fojo is playing. Ordinarily, you would expect that you see that is Abdul Salam leading the attack, and Kingsley Breyer will be pushed to the right hand side. But it's quite surprising these changes have been made. I'm sure he's looking for more mobility up front. The reason why he selected the only 3 changes, which is a like for like. Right back coming in, Yawase to replace the departed Kamaradini. It's an enviable lineup, especially in that midfield where there is Salim Adams, Fuzi Taylor, and then Prince Owusu to do the damage.
Referee Rita Nkansa Watson is an Accra-based FIFA referee with the Ghana Prison Service. She's a Lance Corporal. She picked up her FIFA badge some 5 years ago, and she's going to officiate in the next Women's AFCON in Morocco on the 15th of February. She's actually leaving Ghana for a pre-tournament workshop. So she's been around the game for some time. She was the middle woman when All Blacks lost their first home game this season to Viviani Gold Stars. The big question is, she's officiating in a game that the home side is yet to lose in 10 home games this season. Will the status quo remain the same or not? Only time will tell. That's the whistle to commence the game here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. It's Medeama that gets us going here in our Brankese. It's Nations FC versus Medeama SC.
Well, Medeama would want to set back. Look at how Nations would approach them. The intensity will determine how they control the game, and a lot will depend on Fuzi Taylor, who is the switch of the team, dictating how the team should play.
Kinsley Braye, Danso's first touch. Fuzi takes possession and finds Prince Owusu. Medeama wants to make early incursions. Here is Kelvin Nkrumah. He's up against Emmanuel Boyne. Nkrumah twists and checks in the middle. He swings in a drive and he rolls out for the first goal kick of the afternoon.
Witty play there from Kelvin Nkrumah. He knew exactly what he wanted to get from Boyne. Shoved him and got him out of his way, but the execution lacking any sort of accuracy. The intent was, however, clear, and that is where they have their biggest threat on the wide areas. Kelvin Nkrumah and Derek Fojo, they'll be looking forward to capitalizing on those weak zones of Nations FC and the laterals to cause the damage.
Danso trying to go past Yawase. This Yawase's only second start of the season is obvious because you just can't displace Kamara Dini Mahmoud, who has been one of the best players not only for Medeama but in the entire Ghana Premier League over the last 3 seasons. He's exited and Yawase is going to fill those big shoes. It's a free kick for Nations FC. Joseph Efa scored against Eviana the last time they won here to take the free kick. He swings one in. Away by Yawase. Here is Prince Owusu. He wins the foul for Medeama.
That was quite a very poor free kick from Efa. He has that ability to whip in better balls. Especially in the early minutes of the game, set pieces have now become a crucial part of the game. You expect him to load that ball in there. Safo has a lot to do without Isaac Boche today. He needs to keep the momentum and be creative as well, even though he's suspected to be the destructive force.
The foul against Nations, second time in the game, the last 1 minute. Safo becoming a bit physical. Fuzi is quickly up on his feet and good to go. Here is Fuzi Taylor. Pass was meant for Kelvin Nkrumah, not around anywhere where the pass went. Mubarak Yusuf heads it down, but here's Inzole. Now Danso tries to send in a cross, intercepted by Yawase for the first corner of the afternoon, going to Nations FC.
Quite impressive there. Nzole quickly picking up the scrap and laying it off to Richard Danso. It wasn't quite the most, decent deliveries, but Yawase did enough to make sure Aikwe doesn't get to the end of that.
Danso to take the free kick, but Retan Kansabwatan, she's got some words for those players in the 16-yard box of Medeama. Efa together with Sapon having a tussle there with Mubarak Yusuf, Yawase and the likes. Dansu goes for the short corner. It's a lovely dummy. Mubarak Yusuf's clearance. Here's Kwamboache. Fojo wins the ball and finds Prince Owusu. It's Medeama on the offensive. Here is Owusu, checks onto his right. It's Fojo, steps forward for Medeama. Here is the mob in yellow. Fojo decides to go for goal in uncharacteristic fashion and he's missed his target. It's a goal kick.
That wasn't the best of decisions made there by Derek Fojo. He was caught in two minds whether to go for the drive. But the run of Kingsley Braye, keeping him in two different thoughts. Quite wasteful there. You'd expect him to do better. Salam is on the bench waiting.
Here is Jacob Amumensa. He's formed a very solid partnership with Mubarak Yusuf since Mubarak's return from injury. Here is Kelvin Nkrumah. This is where he can be dangerous. He comes up against Boyne. And Fatau Suleiman's cross. Kingsley Braye steps for Prince Owusu's effort. Not the kind of hit he had really wanted.
Well, the connection was quite minimal. It just brushed off his boots on his favorite foot. But the bounce of the ball just before he made the effort prevented him from having the best of connection and the effort he needed. Medeama clearly given the indication they are going to exploit.
Pressure on Jacob Amumensa, but Felix Che does well to get on the ball for him. Amumensa is giving the ball away. Nations have a chance. Here is Efa. That's some commanding goalkeeping from Felix Che. He seemed to be caught late by the outstretched leg of Efa.
That was quite intelligent there, but where was the Medeama SC defense? Felix Che was quick off his line, knowing that Efa was just going to latch onto that ball. Look at that touch. Once again, the touch and the turn. It wasn't intentional, but he seemed to have left a bit of the starts of his trailing boot on Felix Che. I'm sure it should be something that should keep him out of the game.
That's the Nations FC bench. The likes of Asante Boyne, Suhini Sulemana, all of them on the bench. That's the effort again. Felix Che had to come out, but that's the trailing leg was the one that caught Che on the forehead.
Yeah, the trailing left foot. I think Che should be very fine. If quite dangerous. That touch let him down. I think it's a clear warning to Medeama SC. They cannot let loose their defense.
Mensah. Che's delivery meant for Kelvin Nkrumah. He's gone past Boyne. Here is Nkrumah down the left. He goes with a cutback and it's a good interception from Gripman for a Medeama corner.
It was a quite expansive play there. Medeama SC stretching the game. Boyne was caught lagging behind Nkrumah. And Oko Gripman with a timely intervention once again. Always scoring full marks. The clearance was very decent. Boyne seems to... You should expect a very long day.
Fuzi Taylor to take the corner for Medeama. Fuzi bends one in, and that's the opening goal for Medeama. Medeama are up by 1-0, and guess who? Kingsley Braye. He repays the faith that the coach had in him to start him ahead of Salam to put the mob in yellow ahead under just 10 minutes here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Well taken corner by Fuzi Taylor, and who was marking Kingsley Braye. It almost looked like a free header, and the mob in yellow have jumped into the lead in Abrankese.
It was clearly a free header. He was lacking just behind Oko Gripman and Kwame Boache, two players you'd expect to know better. But that was beautifully whipped. Look at the bend on the ball. And Kingsley Braye knew any touch, any connection legal to that ball was going to score. Seemed to have brushed off his chest. Nations complaining with an arm. Yes, his arm went up. It looks like there was just a bit of it, but his body, his chest got to that ball. A little bit brush off his arm.
Kingsley Brier puts Medeama in the lead for his 3rd goal of the season. Long road for Nations to come back. Here they go in search of something special for an equalizer. Here's Aita Yikwe. Flag stays down as Nations pursue the equalizer. Here is Danso, turns around his marker, sends in a shot, complains of a handball. Referee Tankansa Boateng looks on and says, play on, guys.
Well, I think clearly Danso would be very much livid that decision wasn't given, but that's the discretion of the referee. Proximity.
A foul against Gripman for a very harsh challenge on the goal scorer Kingsley Brier.
It was quite a very nasty one on him. The intent was just to foul him. Written Kansa Boateng very much firm with her decision.
Pressure have started mounting on Frimpong Manso, but for this coach, he knows too well that it's not all over. There's so much to play for in the remaining 80 minutes. It's 10 minutes already here in Abrankesia, the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Nations FC 0, Medeama 1 in search for the second. Prince Owusu, can they get it? But no, goalkeeper Bariwi is already out for the ball.
That is also another weapon of Medeama SC going through the middle. Quick pass in between Brier and Prince Owusu, nearly getting and breaking free to score the second goal.
Joseph Efa for the home side. Tries to look for Aita Yikwe. Felix Chase out. That's good reaction from the Medeama goalie.
Very good read of the game there by Felix J. Very excellent goalkeeper. It's been tops in the last couple of seasons in the Ghana Premier League. And with an experienced goalkeeping coach in Isaac Kamwako, he's always proven why he's keeping Medeama's #1 spot for himself.
Brier. Boyne wins the ball, but he seemed to have fouled Kingsley Brier in the process.
Boyne complaining, seems a bit surprised. Brier in some pain. Seemed to have picked up that ball, but left a little. He went in with the stamp. The intent might have been for the ball, but the aggression,
no
when he went in for the ball, it was clearly a stamp. The referee couldn't have allowed that to go. I think it wasn't even a foul call. He just wanted to attend to Brier.
Richard Kansa Boateng knows too well that the lenses of the Confederation of African Football will be on her as she gets ready to officiate in the next edition of the Women's AFCON. That's the WAFCON in Morocco. She's actually scheduled for a refereeing workshop in Egypt in the next couple of weeks, and so she can't let herself down with poor officiating this afternoon.
Glad to see her rising after Mercy Tego Kwaku. We haven't seen any Ghanaian female referee rise to the highest level, and Julia Tapia and Rayton Kansa Boateng trying to get to the very top, and hopefully we get to see her at the Women's AFCON and possibly any of the Women's World Cup.
Here is Danso up against Yalse. Lovely skill from Danso, but he just can't skip past Yalse, who stayed resolute on that occasion. Here is Prince Owusu. He's giving it away to Razak Simpson. His effort is stopped by Salim, but Gripman gets it away further. Headed down by Mubarak Yosef. Good play from Efa, but the effort is blocked. He complains of a handball, but the referee was right there.
There's no way the referee is going to give that. And Medeama will have the opportunity to clear the Alliance Nation, playing much more aggressive on the ball, making sure Medeama don't have it easy.
Free kick for Nations FC. That's the earlier shout for the penalty after Danso had tried to go past Yawase. He tried to send a left-footed cross. It struck the arm of Mubarak Yusuf.
That is an outstretched arm. That is an outstretched arm.
That's an effort that has gone wayward from Enchisapon.
The intent was clear. Brandon Enchisapon has that weight in his leg to hit those powerful efforts. If you're not hitting the target, it's quite useless. But that pressure from Salim Adams forcing him to play that ball quickly and missing the target.
Owusu. Pass intercepted by Gripman. Here is Boyne. Entry Sarpon. Not on the same page with Boyne. The idea was good, but the execution letting them down is a goal kick.
This is a very good win of the ball there by Boyne, picking up Brandon. Was caught in 2 minds whether to go back central, finding Ndoli. Another pick for the pass. In that direction was right. There was too much weight.
Gripman's header. Play on. Here is Danso. Pushes to Efa, who comes up against Mubarak Youssef. Efa is looking for the right space. He finds Danso. Here is Nzole. Back to Danso. Gives away possession. Kelvin Nkrumah takes over for Medeama. Can't go past Boyne. It looked like the handball against Boyne.
Well, clearly he understands, he knows there was a handball. Minimal complaints there, but that was quite an energetic way of trying to win back position. He knows he needs to fight for his position with Mark Williams-Wate. And once he's granted it, he cannot give less.
Brayeto Nkrumah. We've seen little of Salim Adams in the opening 15 minutes of the game. Free kick Medeama as Fuzi comes at the end of a bad tackle.
High foot there from Ivan Safo. He knew he was never going to get onto that ball.
Here is Yalsei. For Joe. One thing Medeama will be lacking from Yao Osei will be his ability to contribute goals to their game and the offensive play generally, something that Kamara Dini Mamodu gave them effortlessly in the last 3 seasons, making him one of the highest scoring defenders in the Ghanaian Premier League over the last 2 campaigns.
It's going to take him quite some time to get to that level where Kamara Dini Mamodu has experience with the national team and his consistency. The local scene always almost played like a wing back, though he played as a right back.
Entry Sapon tries to pick out Efa. Salim. He wanted the foul, but the referee had other ideas. Amu Mensah's clearance anywhere would do is a throw into the home side nations.
Getting a bit physical. I think Kansabuate needs to exercise her control and authority over the game before it gets out of hand.
Entry Sapon, won by Prince Owusu. Here is Braye. There was an earlier foul where Owusu was cynically brought down. Gripman getting animated and tries to get into a confrontation with Fuzi, with Prince Owusu still staying down after that tackle.
That was quite a nasty late challenge there. Prince Owusu in some pain. He lost the ball at Ivan Safo. He got it right on the blind side of the referee, allowed play to continue. Thought it was a fair challenge. But the intent was very clear. He went in maliciously just for the play and not for the ball.
Medeama on top of the league log with some 43 points. They've won 12 times this season, 7 draws. Medeama's only defeat this season came away from home against Karela. And they've scored 31 goals so far and conceded 12. In their last 5 games, Medeama have not lost. 4 wins, 1 draw in their last 5 games. Actually, the last victory was a 3-1 win over Karela. Coincidentally, the only side that has beaten them in the league. Medeama paid them a double dose of their own medicine in that 3-1 win with Kamara Dini Mamodu signing off with a brace. This should be the equalizer. Medeama lucky after that deflected effort, just going narrowly off target. That was a good drive from Kwame Boachi. Took a deflection of Captain Mubarak Youssef, and Felix Che had the full stretch lucky, Medeama.
Very much lucky there. That was a very good drive by Kwame Boakye. He knows how to hit those well. Has enough power in that left foot. He was just aiming for that target. Unfortunately, not the best way to clear the ball.
Danso to take the corner for Nations. Danso whips one in. Simpson's header, and he's found the equalizer. Razak Simpson. He says, this is our home grounds. We do not lose games here so easily. He's responded so quickly for the home side as we approach 20 minutes. As Nations 1, Medeama 1. Captain Razak Simpson leads by example. That was a thumping header from the captain to bring the home side back in business. His Nations 1, Medeama 1.
That is an interesting, very good whip into the box. He caught his captain right there unmarked. And once again, poor marking resulting in another set piece being converted. But look at the whip on that ball to find Razak Simpson just at the edge of the goalkeeper's area. Brilliant header to get beyond the reach of Felix J. And you can see him complain. He was engulfed by his players who, instead of getting to keep Razak Simpson off the pace, left him. And that is a good time to equalize for Nations FC. They recovered quickly after going down, and they've been served with an equalizer as a reward for their efforts.
20 minutes in Abrankese at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Is Nations 1, Medeama 1. Medeama took the lead on the 8-minute mark, and Razak Simpson responded 11 minutes later with that header from a well-taken corner from Richard Danso. Great delivery by the former Black Starlets player. Here is Simpson, tries to pick out Danso. If it's in elements, he's unplayable, Danso. Now he looks for Kwame Boakye. Can he send in a cross? It's a block and it's a corner for Nations.
Danso seems to be in the mood to play today. He's just causing lots of trouble on the right-hand side of Medeama's defense. Yeah, I'll say has lots of problem. I think that was the masterstroke from Frimpong Manson.
Corner. Danso again to deliver. Simpson has swapped positions this time, allowing Efa to occupy the space he's caught from. He's moved closer to the edge of the 18-yard box. Now he makes a run into the 16-yard box, but there's nobody for Nations. Gripman went down in the process trying to get into the box, but that corner just eludes everyone for a goal kick.
And you can understand Danso once again getting it onto that position, but he was waiting for the run of Gripman. But that was good defensive work there from Braille, making sure that there was not going to be another connection.
Simpson's ball in. Danso. Lovely ball to Nzole. Efa swings in across. Enchi Sapon. That's some good interception from Fatal Sulemana to deny Sapon. And it's a corner for Nations. They've doubled their efforts after that equalizer and taking the game to Medeama.
Well, Medeama on the back foot now. Very brilliant delivery there. Enchi Sapon. That late tackle from Sulemana, right place at the right time to make that knock for a corner kick.
Kwamboakye to take the corner for Nations. Swings one into the area, flicked away by Sulemana once again for a Nations corner.
That was quite dangerous. Another beautiful whip there. Kwame Boakye.
What must performance to be complaining about? Maybe how they should be utilizing these set pieces that has been coming their way consistently in the last 5 minutes or so.
That was a Stramka during his days. He would want the centre backs to be getting in there bigger.
Danso to take the corner for Nations. He's assumed the responsibility from the left-hand side as Kwame Boakye takes that role on the right-hand side of the flank. Is Danso to take.
You can see there's lots of aggression expectant of another set piece to be converted.
So this time, Mubarak Yusuf wants to take the responsibility of ensuring that he goes to where Simpson will be going, and the ball has come off Sulemana again for the third corner in the last 45 seconds.
Well, in different ways, Danso is hitting the ball. Either it comes to the edge of the goalkeeper's area or it goes too close to him.
Danso to take. This time it goes low, tricky, and it's cleared by Yaosei. Fatal thought it was going nowhere until Yaosei popped up to get it away. Inzole, decision in favor of Medeama.
Well, that was quite well there from Inzole losing the ball. I think it's been impressive to see how Nations FC adopt different ways of executing their set pieces. Looks like they're going to cause trouble, and Medeama, fairly knowing the danger, have also had, drawing restrictions. It's been an entertaining game so far. Everything you'd want in a football match: pace, energy, aggression, grit. Everything has been seen so far.
Aita Yikwe bitten to it by Salim. Here is Fuzi. Now Salim Adams. Lovely play from Nkrumah to find Fatal Sulemana. Braye makes the move on the left. Flag goes up by Dolagbanu, and Kingsley Braye is offside. Well read by the assistant referee, Mano Dolagbanu.
While he went in too early, he was waiting for a quick return. And Kelvin Nkrumah was suspected to be fed with that ball on the extreme left-hand side. Just an inch ahead.
Boche not communicating with his right back, Boyne, but Saponenchi gets it. Aita Yikwe stopped by Salim. Here is Kelvin Nkrumah. Can't get to Braye. Safo was aiming at Danso, but couldn't quite get it well.
It's a poorly hit. I expected him to at least keep the control. In the absence of Boche, is supposed to be the calm head of the team in that midfield. By the wasteful ball from him.
Simpson's header. Salim comes in with a powerful header. Here is Owusu. Now Fuzi. Salim Adams switches to the right where there's Fojo. He's seen Yaosei on the run. Here is Yaosei, swings in across. Who is scoring for Medeama, and Owusu misses from close range. That was a big chance, and referee Retan Kansabwatin whistles for the first water break.
That was quite a brilliant run from Osei. Brilliantly whipping that, laying it on a plate. For Prince Owusu, you can't be missing these. Good position, right on his favorite foot. That he headed back to the direction where the cross came from.
And he knows too well this is a big chance he could have buried.
That's unpardonable. Should be scoring. That is one element of his game that is missing, which he needs to quickly pick up.
He knows that with those two friendlies against Austria and Germany for the Black Stars around the corner in March, he needs to step up his game if he still wants to remain a part of the Black Stars squad in the build-up to the World Cup. He's been part of the last 3 previous call-ups because he was one of the shining stars in the Premier League at the time of the call-ups. And now he needs to double his effort with competition in the team, growing week in, week out, especially with those performers across the various European leagues, also competing for those same places.
But I think that has been one thing Coach Otado will be looking forward to players who are on form, who are playing actively, who are performing, giving very good numbers and returns. You need to earn your place. You must merit it. There's a lot more to do from him if he wants to still stay the Black Stars team for the World Cup.
Nations FC are 12th on the league table, 6 wins, 6 draws, and 8 defeats this season. And they've not scored so many goals this season. The goal scored by Simpson was the 16th in 21 games for their Brankesi-based side, and they've conceded 19 goals. They have a deficit of 3 goals so far in 21 games in the Premier League. That doesn't look good for Frimpong Manso's side.
That is not the very best you'd want to see from Frimpong Manso and his team. Quite a man who barely doesn't want to concede so much. It's quite surprising why his team is that loose.
But they take consolation in the fact that they are yet to lose at this venue. Out of 10 home games, they've won 6 times and they've drawn on 4 occasions, nation. So they know that they can't just drop their guard here. As a matter of fact, the last time they lost a game at this venue was on the last day of last season's Premier League, where there was a point in time they were in contention. When they lost their mojo, then they lost that game to Hearts of Lions by 2-0 at this venue on March the 34th of last season's Premier League.
It was quite a shocking result. Many weren't expecting it at the time. Bashir Hayford and his crew were flying high, causing lots of havoc for teams in the league. And it came at a point where the team were just down and couldn't pick up any energy.
Britain Cancer Boateng is forced to flash the first yellow card of the afternoon. It is Yao Say, the right back. His only second start in the season. As a challenge on Danso, elbow on the shoulder, gaining advantage to head the ball. Good call by Britain Cancer.
It's quite a needless yellow card to take when you know so many minutes for you to play against a witty winger.
Kwam Boachit delivers. Header by Efa, away by Sulemana. Boahen. Safo goes back to Gripman. It's 30 minutes at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex in Abrankese. It's Nations FC 1, Medeama SC 1. Efa, Boache for Nations. Cross intercepted by Fojo. Good play by Nzole to pick out Simpson. Aiming at Efa. Flag was up for offside against Efa.
That's quite a rash pass there from Zach Simpson. Asking yourself if that was the best option he could have picked. There's no way Osei was going to allow that. He had already stepped up, and Danso was a bit late.
Gripman's header. Nzole. Something seemed to be working for him on that move, but eventually loses possession. But referee's right there. Medeama have the advantage.
Well, that was a wild kick there from Danso. He was late to it. Osei was quicker in making sure he got to the ball first, right in front of the referee. And clearly that was it there. Osei first to the ball. Danso was late, caught his man.
Amumensa. Here is Sulemana. Now Prince Owusu to Kelvin Nkrumah. Goes past Boahen. He's got a Sapon entry to beat. And Brandon Daswell to take possession for Gripman. Boahen is a bit slow and off color.
You can fairly understand he hasn't really had so many minutes. Probably a start he himself might not have expected. It will take him some time to find his groove.
Originally he wasn't part of the starting lineup.
Yeah.
It was Boateng who was expected to start, but Frimpong Manso had to make a last tweak to his personnel before the start of the game. Same for Abdullah Mashoud, who was expected to start, but instead Danso came in to replace.
I'm sure he was looking for a fair balance, someone who can defend well in Boahen, and then Danso to give Yaosei a very tough time, go expansive as well. If he had played Mark Williams-Boateng and then Mashoud, Abdullah, they are both attacking minded, and defensively they'd have had a frailty there.
Here is Derek Fojo, gifted with possession but can't go past Kwame Boache. Great read by this left back. Good movement from Sapon. Now here's Aita Ikwe. Flag goes up, but it stays down. Nope. Here's Efa. Good save from Felix Che. Sefa tries to bring it back. Nope. Aikwe. Ball cleared eventually by Amu Mensah. Medeama caught ball watching, thinking it was an offside, but Nations took advantage. For Joe with a missed kick. Here is Efa. Safu with a drive, blocked by Salim. Boyne heads it down to Simpson. Boache. Now Danso. Skips past Yao-Se. Now sends in a cross. Comes outside of the box. Headed away by Kelvin and Chroma. Boyne. He's the one that throw off in Chroma. Sulemana wins the ball at the expense of Efa, but can't prevent the throw-in. There's a throw to Nations.
Good play from Nations. The turn of possession and intensity has been great from them. Medeama find it difficult to even keep the ball.
Game seemed to have swung in the favor of the home side after that equalizer. Boyne.
A lot of indecisions from him, but thankfully he's managed to win a throw-in and still keep the ball for his side.
He was captain of this team some 2 seasons ago until he decided to leave, and that exit didn't really materialize. He decided to come back, and before he came, Simpson had been handed the captain's armband. Good clearance by Amu Mensah.
The slightest delay. If that delayed for even a second, that would have been Aikwe's ball.
Brilliant play from Safo. Brendan Saponenchi. That's what to still fight for the ball, but Amu Mensah finds Mubarak, who clears it away.
No, Medeama in 6s and 7s, they cannot keep their calm. They are cool in keeping the ball. The high press from Nations, giving them troubles. I've never seen them rattled like this season.
Bariu's delivery. Fatal Sulemana loses the aerial challenge to Boyne, who has got advantage now. Aikwe dummies. Here is a chance for Nations. Efa shoots and it's gone over the bar. Big chance, Efa.
Too many touches there. The ball bounced off awkwardly. There, he should have taken that shot. That second effort took it far away from the goalpost, and he had to try keep his body in the right balance to score.
Injury concern for Medeama's left back Fatal Sulemana. Nations 11 fouls, send Medeama 4. And one of those fouls have left the Medeama left back down.
This will be quite an unfortunate news, and as you can see, it's a lot of pain, but the fans don't care what is happening. They're enjoying once their team has put up a spirited game. I think this gentleman has done so wonderfully well, leading his team. They never backed down. If you looked at the goal, he went into the pool to pick up the ball. And it's just been a turn of possession.
And Medeama, some solid bench. Ebenezer and Kroma, Nana Kofi Babil, God knows Jack Pasu, Abdul Salam. On any day, these guys could be starting for any club in the Premier League. It tells you the kind of competition in Ibrahim Tanko's setup.
An enviable squad. Every coach would want to have this, I tell you.
Here is Efa for Nations. There's so much space for Aite Aikwe to take. Now here comes Aita Yikwe, goes past Prince Owusu, tries to come back, appeals for a handball against Mubarak Yusuf, but Yawse gets the ball away for Medeama. Now Braye can't get to Fojo, throwing Nations.
That was quite intelligent play there from Aikwe, but the final pass couldn't get to the intended target. The Nations are taking all the right boxes with the exception of the final third, the crucial moment, where they need to be getting the balls on target and testing goalkeeper Felix J.
Boyne with a bicycle kick to look for entry Sapon, and Salim is livid with the decision from referee Rayton Cancer Boateng.
They thought that was a fair challenge. I think too much aggression was never going to win that ball without committing a foul. Brandon has been a thorn in the flesh of Medeama. They need to find a way to deal with him.
5 minutes away from the break, and it's Nations 1, Medeama 1, with Nations having a free kick. Kwamboache swings one in. Salim's header, not out of danger. Amu Mensah gets it away, but here is entry Sapon. Sapon goes to Safo. Safo wants to take the initiative. Good play from Safo. He goes down. Referee is right there, and Medeama gets the advantage, and Safo is surprised.
No, he might be surprised, but that wasn't going to be whistled for a foul, and decided to even grab the ball. Savo hasn't been extremely good, but I think he's been decent.
It's 1-1 with 4 minutes to go for second half action, bearing any time added on. Nations really stepping up their game after that equalizer and taking the game to the mauve and yellow at their fortress in Abrancasa. Here is Boahen. Now Safo. Good throw ball to Efa, who has got Mubarak Yusuf to beat. Danso comes in for support, but he's lost it to Fuzi. Now Danso takes the ball for Nations, tries the cutback. Here's Aita Ikwe. He's blasted into the net, but referee had already pointed for a decision in favor of Nations. She said the cross came out of play. So he's whistled for a spot kick. It's a penalty for Nations. So she denies the goal and points to the spot. So there we have a clearer view of what decision she's taken. Did the ball struck the arm of Yawase? Yes, it did. Before Aita Ikwe hit the ball into the roof of the net. Let's take a second look at it.
That was a good steal from Danso with the outside of his boot, sending the ball in, and that is the outstretched arm of Yawase. Perfect call. She was very agile, and that is the best call she can ever make from the game. Too clear and obvious.
Good decision. Penalty Nations. Nations will be thinking that they should have had an earlier one when the ball struck the arm of Mubarak Yusuf early stages in the game. But now they have a chance to double the goal they scored and make it 2-1. Here is Razak Simpson. Can he score his brace? As in, he has an exit from Nations. He might be signing off on a positive note. Here is Simpson. Comes up against Felix Che, and he scored brilliantly. Nations on top before the break. And it's the captain, Razak Simpson, on the double. He has brought Nations back in the game big time. They were down by 1-0 on the 8th minute through Kingsley Breyer's opening goal. Razak Simpson equalized with a thumping header, and he's taking them 2-1 before the break with an expertly converted penalty. It's Nations 2, Medeama 1.
Brilliantly hit, perfectly converted. Hit it hard and low, beyond the reach of the goalkeeper. He got the right direction, but too much power, too much direction to his near post. There was absolutely no way he was going to get onto that. And the captain has delivered not just once, but twice.
captain leading by example. I tell you what, the day he leaves this club, they will miss him big time, and his days are numbered. Razak Simpson. They've already lost Yawano, who is in Moldova now. They've lost Faisal Chawete, who is in Albania now, and it's very possible Razak Simpson will be the next to leave, probably by the next match day on match day 22.
Well, that is the spine of the team being broken. I think that in this game, in as much as Simpson has stepped up with 2 goals, credit should go to Danso. He's had an almost perfect game. I've never seen him.
If Danso decides to play and is in elements, he's unplayable.
I've never seen him hungry like this season, and even in seasons past. He seems ready for it.
He knows too well. He's yet to reach his full potential. When he began from the early stages at Connors Babies through to the West Africa Football Academy, even before his inclusion to the Black Starlets, the talk was that he was going to be the next big thing, but he's never lived to realize that dream, Danso.
And even when he joined Adriana FC, many were thinking that under Pakwesi Fabian, he was going to pick up the pieces, but he couldn't, and he failed.
That's the earlier confirmation of additional minutes. It's 3 minutes here in our Brancasit to do before the whistle to wrap up the first half of this game. Is 2-1 in favor of Nations. What a way to end the first half if it ends this way for the home side. And there's a good catch by Hadina Bariu.
Brilliant goalkeeper, very confident. Stays on the bench, deputizing for Sanon, who's been punished.
Lovely play from Entry Sarpon. Aita thought he was going to be offside, so he decided just not to go for that ball. I don't think they were on the same page together with
He wanted the pass earlier. But it came a bit late. I think he should have gone for the ball.
Here he comes again, Ayikwe. Good crossing by Brandon Sarpon, but easily collected by Che.
To hang in delivery, every goalkeeper will be happy and glad to pick that one up.
Mubarak Yusuf. But Medeama haven't really defended well in today's game. They've left spaces for Nations to exploit, and they are doing that to full advantage. Here is Salim Adams. He's aiming at Fojo, who have swapped wings with Nkrumah. Here is Derek Fojo. Lays one for Prince Owusu. Poor touch. Grebman's clearance not good enough. Salim takes over. Caught ball watching as Ayikwe gets the final touch for another Medeama throw.
It's a good fight for the ball. Every single ball, no matter how tight it is with the opponent, Nations have fought for it. That has paid a lot more on suddenly Medeama, not allowing them to play fluidly. The fluidity with which their football flows hasn't been realized. The reason why they are struggling.
Amu Mensah's ball not met well by Kingsley Braye. Were just about some 30 seconds to wrap up the stoppage time, with Nations cruising to a 2-1 lead before the halftime whistle. Dansu on the chase. Yause will go to Che, who gets the ball away only as far as Safo. Now Kelvin Nkrumah wins it for Braye. Back for Braye. Braye to Prince Owusu. Prince Owusu just can sort his feet out, but that was some good interception from Boahin. That's the whistle to wrap up the first half here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Referee Raytan Kansa Boateng ends the first half with the home side Nations FC coming from a goal down to lead 2-1 at halftime. Kingsley Braye opened the scoring in the 8th minute, but this guy right here, the captain for Nations, equalized with a header and got the second goal from the spot kick after a handball against Yao Osei. Halftime at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex in Abrankese. It's a home side Nations FC back from a goal down, leading by 2-1.
First 45 minutes done and dusted here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex, and the home side Nations are leading Medeama by 2 goals to 1. Remember, Medeama have not lost a game since October 2025, and this could be a hard one for them. But I have with me the assistant coach of Nations FC, Abuaje Da Costa. You started slowly. What really accounted for that?
We were studying some things in the game.
Now, right after you conceded, I saw you call the boys and you were having a discussion with them. What exactly were you telling them? And do you think that is what did the magic for you to come back and lead?
We told them they like playing at the back, so they should press.
Now you have 45 minutes to go. What are you going to do differently to ensure you win this game?
We are leading. We will continue to lead.
All right.
With the same pattern.
Well, that is Abuaje Da Costa, the assistant coach of Nations FC. They are leading by 2 goals to 1. Big one for them. But Pius Gura is also joining me here. He is the assistant coach of Medeama. Now, Pius, you had a great start, wonderful start. But what really happened? It looks like you capitulated right after scoring that goal.
Yeah, sure, you're right. I think with the first 5-10 minutes, I think we were on top. We started very well, like you said. But then I think somewhere along the line, and then I think we lost concentration, and then I think it's a moment. So they picked their moment, and I think we've been punished for that. So we have to just concentrate.
Of course, you have second 45 minutes to go. What do you need to do differently?
So I think, like you said, the game is being played in 2 halves, and then this first half, and then it's for them. They won the first department of the game. I think going back, like you said, we hide in our identity. We have to keep our composure and then play our normal game, and then I think we're going to ask them to also come out and play. This is how we play, so we have to come out and then also play.
Okay, Pius, so we wish you the best for the
Thank
second 45 minutes. He is the assistant coach of Medeama. They are down by 2 goals to 1 against Nations FC. Here we take a quick breather. When we return, Michael Akomia will join me for the first half analysis. Halftime here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex, and Nations FC are leading by 2-1. Medeama risks losing another game, and this time it will be their first defeat in 2026. But they have 45 minutes to salvage something from that game. And the first half statistics on your screens are there. Nations have dominated possession after conceding an early goal. They came back strongly with 51% of possession as against Medeama's 49. 2 goals are scored by Nations, 1 scored by Medeama, and 7 shots for Nations, the home side. 4 of them were on target. Medeama had 4 shots and 2 on target as well. 6 corner kicks for Nations FC. It tells you how they've been relentless and persistent in that area. 12 fouls committed by them as well to Medeama's 6. 1 yellow card, and it was flashed to Medeama, but no red card at the moment. But the most important statistics in football is that big 1-2-1 scoreline, because it is Nations who are leading. Now, I mean, this is arguably the best bit of football I've seen Nations FC play at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex this season. It has been brilliant, but it went down early. I don't know where the spirit came from, and since then it's been tremendous from them.
I think it's because of 2 things. They are very confident on the ball, and they are really fast whenever they move in transitions. For Medeama, they've not shied away from how they play. And if you see subsequent games that they've played, they keep the ball very patient in possession, switch to the laterals, involve the wingers, quick feet, beat your man 1v1 situation, get crosses into the box, and the final balls over there, the attackers will put it at the back of the net. But for Nations FC, they've been able to get the antidote for such a style of play that Medeama brings into the game. In this particular discussion we are having, I think the first 15 minutes, it was really that bad for Nations FC to be able to cope with the level of intensity and how Medeama were able to keep the ball. But after the 15th minute, they came into the game, pressed so well, and you saw their wingers come centrally just to come and overload the middle of the park.
Now I was going to ask you about
Nations FC be able to
this
press
goal
on and
that
get
Nations FC
the ball.
conceded. I mean, goalkeeper Berio, do you think he could have done better, because it looks like he misjudged the flight of the ball?
Yes, I think he should have timed the ball so well and went into the right space at the right time to pick up that loose ball from that area. It's just quite unfortunate, but I think for Braille, I'm happy for him starting ahead of Salam, and he gets his goal for Medeama, and I think that was a very good position for him at that area, and I think he took his chance well.
Kingsley Braille scoring with the chest there. Now, after this game, it looked like it was going to be floodgates open for Medeama. They were going to score more goals. Then Nations FC somehow found a way of coming back strongly, dominated the game, and also scored from a set piece. Kelvin Danso sending this one in, and the captain, fantastic, Razak, heading this one in. It was a great header from him.
I think that was
sports well.
That was a poor defending by Medeama. I was expecting one of the centre backs, either Jacopa Mumensa or Yusuf Mubarak, to
Salim
target
was
Razak.
the closest to Razak, but he didn't react early.
In the best interest of Medeama, whenever you go in for a set piece like this and you are defending, I think Razak is the best set piece or area ball taker for Nations FC. So you pick your best of the best whenever you are defending to go on him. So I was expecting either Jacopa Mumensa or having a player like Yusuf Mubarak to go in hard on Razak to just clear off that goal from that area.
Of course, and then Nations FC went into the lead for the first time with that penalty incident. I mean, the calls were very loud, even inside the stadium. Then Razak Simpson stepped up to convert that penalty as well.
First of all, that was a good press. Secondly, that was a good transition by Nations FC. Brandon and Richard Danso, they've been very good in terms of defending or blocking the spaces of Medeama, not to initiate the passes from the middle of the park or the first phase of the field. Then they get the ball, enter into the penalty box. You expected a goal from Ayukwe, but unfortunately the ball already hit the hands of one of the defenders of Medeama. Ayukwe scored a goal, but the whistle had already gone before that goal.
So that is a penalty incident there.
Yes.
I mean, a shout from Richard Dansu, who actually was sending in that cutback, but the ball seemed to have come off the hand of the Medeama defender, and the referee did not hesitate to whistle. But the penalty kick itself, coming up against a goalkeeper like Felix Shea, you need a lot of composure. Razak Simpson is the man who did the business.
Confident, picked his spot well, and he shot his shot. And I think for Razak Simpson, that was an absolutely brilliant penalty from Razak Simpson. Absolutely brilliant. The build up to the penalty, the goal score, the whistle before that, everything was just right on point.
So we have to get back to the second half, and I leave you in the hands of our commentators, Nana Dakwa Jesse and Kelvin Owusu-Ansah. See you after the second half. Sorry.
Back from recess, we're still looking forward to a very competitive and exciting second half between these two clubs, with the first half providing us with all we needed for a top clash like this in the Ghana Premier League. A club struggling for consistency and a club aiming to win the ultimate. As we speak, it's Medeama who will be chasing the game as Nations return for second half in a 2-1 lead here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex.
Well, and it's been a reverse of what we actually expect. Medeama is struggling to remain consistent and keep up the momentum how they play. Nations have been dominant all over, and they've been clearly rewarded with the 2 goals that has kept them up after conceding very early. Hopefully, get to see what Medeama has the second half.
Ayikwe starts for Nations in the second half action.
That was what I was prompting you that they are doing it.
Coach Ibrahim Tanko seemed to have responded to that Razak Simpson second goal with 2 quick substitutions at recess. Derek Fojo and Prince Owusu are off. Their places have been taken by God knows Jakwasu and Nana Kofi Babil respectively. Interesting switch by Tanko.
Well, it means Jakwasu comes in central to play from there, and have Nana Kofi Babil playing off the right hand side. And I'm sure he'll be constantly switching with Kingsley Brahe to see how best they can confuse Razak Simpson. And then Raymond Oko Grebman in defense.
Fuzi Taylor fouled by Safo. He was hanging on to the ball for too long, but knew exactly what he was looking for. Actually invited the challenge and won the foul, Fuzi.
I think he's easily been the target because once you high press him, he makes a number of mistakes. I think Nations have adopted. They know that Medeama, if you allow them to stay comfortable on the ball, that is where they manage to pick up the right passes and make their movement. They're forcing them to give the ball away and breaking the momentum.
Jakwasu, Mensah, and Nkrumah loses the ball to Safo. Good movement from Safo in the middle, skips past Fuzi. Here is Safo, wants to create the space and shoot. Now he lays on a pass, intercepted by Fuzi. Salim, lovely. It's a lovely ball to find Nana Kofi Babil, almost leaving the ball behind. He sees Calvin Nkrumah, but Brian will take over. He finds Nkrumah. Calm, cool goalkeeping from Bariwi.
And Adina knew that Calvin Nkrumah was also going to take extra touches. But once he got into the goalkeeper's area, he stopped him right there. That is his territory.
Brandon Sapon's ball is straight to Felix Che.
The intent was very clear, dinking the ball, trying to find the run of Ifa. But it was too close and too quick for Ayikwe to latch onto.
Kwamboache seems to have stepped on the foot of Fuzi Taylor. Somewhere around his ankle, yeah, you can see him holding it.
It was quite a late dive into Fuzi Taylor. You can see the warning from the referee. Lucky to have escaped the yellow card. It was a late challenge. It seemed more like a lunge into Fuzi Taylor right there.
Mubarak Yusuf, calm about the state of the game. It's Medeama still chase. They need to remain calm and composed because Nations will take the game to them. Fuzi pressed down by Danso and loses possession. Here is Richard Danso, goes for goal, and it's straight to Felix Che.
That was clever win of the ball there by Danso, continuing from where he left off in the first half, driving that, but without the power to cause any problems for Felix Che. Was very much eager to win possession, very much ready to win the ball and hit it from a distance. You know, that was the first try. It could be the second time lucky.
Good stop by Boahen. Efa to Safo. Safo to Brandon Sarpon. Gripman. Safo. But he's put in a very good performance in the absence of Boche. He's been brilliant in midfield. His link-up play between the defense and the attack, awesome. He's acted as a real middleman, distributing well, tackling well, and winning most of the 50-50 balls. Simpson heads the ball straight to Salim, but it's Safo again, the takeover first. Braye. Jakpasu caught ball watching. Here is Efa. Kwamboache. Wayward from the left back.
I thought there was going to be a challenge in there. He was looking at driving the ball back at his opponent. He just played it into touch easily. A giveaway.
5 minutes into second half. As Nations 2, Medeama 1. Mubarak Yusuf for Medeama. Babil. Salim. Here's Mubarak Yusuf. Questions have been raised about the defending of Medeama in the build-up to those 2 goals by Nations. And I'm sure the captain will know that together with his back line, they should have been responsible enough. Sulemana, Fuzi. Here was Jack Basu. Yusuf. Amu Mensah. Salim Adams, Fuzi Taylor. They're passing the ball really well, but they ain't going anywhere. Now Nations will take possession. Here is Efa. Can't get to Danso. Yaosei is under pressure from Danso. He goes to Felix Che, and who does so to calmly find Osei again.
Good goalkeeping. Calm. Not in a rush to get the ball away. That is what Felix Che offers Medeama.
Here's Kelvin Nkrumah for the away side. He goes past Boahin. Nkrumah with a cutback. Nana Kofi Babil on the left foot, blocked again by Gripman, and Kwame Boache will get it away for Nations.
That was quite the most impressive play from Medeama I've seen in quite a while.
It's a foul against Fuzi, bringing down Efa, who was on the move to create problems for Medeama.
Look at that. Efa has been much mobile, running into channels, dropping into midfield to help with build-ups, winning fouls in crucial positions, obstructing the play of opponents by cutting in and filling up in spaces.
Here is Efa, can't get to Inzoli. I thought there was so much on that pass, but Inzoli was equally not aware of his surroundings.
He wasn't ready to pick up that pass. He was clearly looking forward to the ball being hit by Efa, directly trying to get a goal. Kept his eyes off the play. That was quite a very decent opportunity that could have easily gotten them a shout for a third goal.
Kelvin Nkrumah. He's got Sulemana on the left. Here comes Fatal Sulemana. He's indicating he wants to swing in across. Yes, he does. Collected by Badina Bariwi. Seemed to have collided with his own captain in the process, and he's gone down.
Sulemana with the quality to whip in decent crosses. There was a delay in the run from Braye. And Salim, as you can see, he wanted a lot more men inside the penalty area. Zach Simpson was a bit later than the goalkeeper, Barry. Made sure he held on to that. Brave goalkeeping. In the absence of Sanon. Not given any worries in the post.
Frimpong Manso must be expecting more from his striker, Aite Ayikwe, who is yet to really hit the ground running in terms of goal scoring since joining in the second half of the campaign.
But I'm sure that he knows his work rate is commendable. But as a striker, he wants him to get the ball in the back of the net, which is quite essential. There have been some quite questionable movement from him and positioning. I think he can get better than we've seen so far.
Some thinking to do by the Medeama coach Ibrahim Tanko. They've lost just once this season, and it was to Karela in the first round of the league, and now they are trailing Nations at their Brankese by 2-1.
So quite Medeama have tried to put in the shift in the second half, but the kind of momentum, the pace, the urgency hasn't been great. If they want to get back into this game, it should be better.
Safo and Kroma, but Safo takes it back. Boahin. Brandon Sapon is a lovely play from the winger. He's gone past Sulemana, tries to thread one for Nzole again. The ball is rolled out for a goal kick.
Brilliant play there from Brandon. Getting past this man easily. Sulemana chasing shadows, he left him. But the final ball, little to be desired. Nzole was too far away from being able to keep it in play.
Some 11 minutes into second half action. It's 56 in home side. Nations 2, Medeama 1. You know what? Last season, Nations beat Medeama by 2-1 at this venue, and interestingly, Razak Simpson was on the score sheet. He scored twice already today. The other goal was scored by Faisal Chawate, who has since left the club for Albania. So Razak seems to be on track to repeating history, but too much overindulgence on the part of Brandon Sapon.
Well, he's getting swelling here that needs to keep his concentration.
Here is Babil. Now it's a clever tackle from Kwame Boache.
That was quite a decent tackle there from Boache. He knew exactly where Nana Kofi Babil wanted the ball to be played, but it was quicker. The sliding challenge, lots of strength and power in the clearance, leaving no cramps.
Fatal Sulemana to take the Medeama corner, aiming for an in-swinger with Mubarak, Yusuf, Jacob, Amu Mensah, Salim, all of them popping up, but this Danso's clearance away for Nations. Kelvin and Kumar returns it for Fuzi, but Dina Bariwi is up for it for Nations.
Nations will be glad if this is how Medeama is going to play it this way. But they themselves haven't helped. They seem to be a bit casual with the approach, especially in attack, the final third.
There's a foul against Aite Ayikwe on Yause. Yellow card. Flash to Aite Ayikwe, the nation's striker, for the challenge on Yause.
Well, he left an elbow there. It was quite needless in the center of the pitch. Could have easily risen and battled for that ball.
That's a confirmation of Ayikwe's yellow card. Here is Fuzi. Yause, fouled by Danso, obvious foul. Deliberate by Danso.
It was quite a bad one. He went into clatter down his man. Stretched leg there, obstructing Yalsa in the process. Seems to be in some shoulder pain injury, and lots of players now need to keep themselves ready for any change that will come from Ibrahim Tanko. These fans don't care about what is going on.
Yalsa's shoulder should be fine for him to continue. Medeama have not lost in their last 5 away games this season. They've actually won 3 times and drawn twice in their last 5 visits. And Nations have considered a foul that has prompted Ritan Kansa Boateng to call for the Medeama medical team to attend to Kelvin and Chroma. Nations will feel they were on the offensive and there was no point for referee to stop the ball, but this is clear foul.
That's quite a very nasty one there, Brandon. High foot starts showing. The players themselves know. That was quite a bad challenge. And Medeama wanted a caution for Brandon, but the referee is not interested in any of that.
So the last time Medeama lost a game in the Premier League was on the 28th of September 2025 in Tamale, to that 1-0 defeat to Karela. They've not looked back since. Something that has seen them rise to be the table toppers of the Ghana Premier League. But they are trailing here in Abrankese, a venue the home side yet to taste defeat in 10 games in this season's campaign. Babio Safo cleverly takes possession, but it was an in-ear foul on Babio.
Nalaikwe was preventing him from having a smooth run. It was a good call from Rita. She wanted the game to progress, but had to call back once Babio lost control of the ball.
She's been in some high-profile games, and you're thinking that she should be fine with the nature of a game like this in the Ghana Premier. She was actually the center woman in the WAFCON qualifier between Nigeria and Cape Verde in the build-up to the last edition of the WAFCON, and she distinguished herself so well. Ritan Kansa Boateng, she's regarded as the best female referee in Ghana now.
She hasn't done bad, and it's quite impressive how she's been able to handle the game.
Here is Afa. Brandon Sapon. Sapon wants the space to drive. Here is Sapon, blocked by Fuzi. Inzole goes past Jack Pasu, fouled right there before referee Ritan Kansa Boateng for a Nations FC free kick.
Once again, Inzole there, cleverly getting past Japasu, sticking out the leg and bringing down his man.
Safo to Simpson, back to Safo. Not too sure that was the intended plan, but Kwame Boachi does well to swing in across, away by Nkrumah. Braye beaten to it by Gripman, but he fights for it again, only as far as Gripman. Simpson, but it's Safo now for Boachi. Ayikwe. Babio steps up for Medeama, but his Nations again with possession. Kwame Boachi swings one into the 18-yard box and finds Afa. Boachi steps up again and he swings in one, but it's blocked by Amu Mensah. The press from Danso, very impressive for Nations this afternoon.
That is what every coach would want. Has given virtually everything that there is to give.
Abdul Salam together with Richard Apia. Fuzi goes out for Abdul Salam.
But see, this is more like a like for like, not the like for like substitution we want. A lot more attackers coming into the game. Richard Appiah, winger, replacing Kelvin Nkrumah. That's a like for like. But Fuzi Taylor out. And as Abdul Salam clearly tells you, they want a lot more options up front.
Technically, he's playing with 4 attackers. Ibrahim Tanko as we speak, because he's got Salam, Appiah, Braye, and Babel. Brandon Sarpong switches delightfully to Kwame Boachi, who makes inroads into Medeama territory with a lovely pass to Efa. He gets it back for Nzole. Nzole drives one and it's straight to Felix Che. Calm goalkeeping.
Good switch of play and interplay between the Nations FC team, but the final product, they need to be at your extra quality best to beat Felix Che in post.
Kingsley Braye, the goal scorer for Medeama, can't get on to Abdul Salam, his strike partner. 65 minutes in Abrankese. It's Nations FC 2, Medeama SC 1.
Medeama have been chasing shadows. They want to get back into the game, but the game plan seems not to be working. The antidote in breaking the defensive lines of Nations FC seems to be missing.
The foul against Ayikwe. Referee signals for substitution to be made as the home side respond to the changes of their visitors as they get to introduce Samuel Tete, who takes the place of Ayite Ayikwe.
Well, he's paid his dues. He's caused lots of trouble for Mubarak Yusuf and Amumenta. Samuel Tete being brought in to come and continue where Ayikwe left off. He's also combative. A tough customer to deal with.
Abdul Salam onto Yause, who swings in across. Braye again, but this time unlucky as Badina Bariwi is not troubled by his efforts.
That was quick there. Salam held onto the ball. Yause quickly whipped it in. The jump from Oko Gripman confusing Braye there. The ball coming just onto his midrib. Couldn't generate enough power to get the ball even to test goalkeeper Bariu. And they must seem to be finding the spaces, pockets of spaces they can exploit.
Mubarak Yusuf, Bebil, Fatal Sulemana, Richard Appiah, here is Fatal Sulemana. Good tackle by Boahin. Jack Basu is a poor pass from Jack Basu, intercepted by Nzole. He tries to put one through for Samuel Tete, but Amu Mensah is first to the ball. The tempo of the game seems to have slowed a bit in the second half, comparing it to how the first half ended. Here is Appiah. Quick turn, good movement. Yusuf. Mensah. Appiah. Sulemana. There's been an off-the-ball incident where Ivan Safo seemed to have left something on Richard Appiah, and then you see Richard Boateng getting onto the scene. I feel it was at the blind side of the referee and an off-the-ball incident.
I think that she's decided to let it go. Not going to punish anyone for that. Like a tussle between Safo and Apia there. Safo needs to be careful. Apia seems to have come off worse. Might have happened on the blind side of the referee. Can't be every time. Lucky, keep your head.
Yao says cross in. Brian loses the ball to Gripman and it falls to Brandon Sarpon. It's a long searching ball for Samuel Tete, but Yusuf Mubarak brilliant defending from the Medeama captain.
Very much experienced. While playing centre back, he knows when to keep it cool, when to keep it tight, and the skill to evade himself from said danger.
You know, coincidentally, those two captains on the field, the Medeama captain and the nation's captain, played together during their days at Liberty Professionals before Simpson joined Wafa, and then Mubarak Yusuf also made the switch to Ashgold and subsequently Asante Kotoko.
That's quite interesting to note. And you can understand why both are ball playing centre backs.
The background.
Yeah, with the quality you would always want to respect.
And to be fair, the stock of the both of them have risen appreciably since leaving Liberty many years ago. But in the meantime, two players in the middle of the park. Safo, the hard tackling, swashbuckling midfielder, and Jack Basu colliding. But Safo will take the yellow card. He will take that yellow card. A tackle from a number 28 on another number 28.
Well, Safo was late. We're just talking about him keeping his head. There's no reason for him to get himself entangling in quarrels and fighting some of these late challenges. You can ask yourself, did he have to slide in for this? Too late to challenge. And he came in nasty. That's a cynical tackle.
The danger part of it is that he can even come up worse because of the aggression behind that slide. And there you see he remains down with the victim rather up on his feet.
Exactly. And he could be hurting his team. I like it. The referee still holding on to the yellow card. If you're going to get up tomorrow, you're still taking the card.
No matter how long it takes for you to get up, you're still going to get into the books. These guys will be switching their attention from Premier League action to FA Cup action next weekend because there won't be Premier League games next week. Medeama have a big game in Takwa on Saturday against Samatex in the round of 16 of the FA Cup. For Nations FC is a home game against Swedro All Blacks as they seek to navigate their way through to the next stage of the MTN FA Cup.
Well, it's a journey that they would want to embark on, trying to win the double. Nations FC as well know that they're still in the competition. That could be their respite for them winning the silverware. From Promotional will be glad to do that.
A Premier League winner from last season with those stars. It will be a perfect story to finish the season as a champion in the FA Cup because it doesn't look like they'll be fighting for the league title. That's the confirmation of Ivan Safo's yellow card for that clumsy challenge.
You can see the worry on the face of the fans. They know that is a great weapon, a lethal asset to the team in that midfield that is lacking a number of players.
Talking about those who have exited this Nations FC team, forgot to talk about Prince Bedu, who is becoming a mainstay in the Kotoko midfield since his departure from Abrankesi to the Porcupine fold.
I'm sure he would have been in this game with his yellow hair. Very combative, running up and down, making sure that Safo does a lot more of the offensive stuff. But now Safo has to combine the two. And his absence and also the injury to Boche, who's on a yellow card now, and that's where.
It's a good ball from Danso, but it's well read by a moment. Brandon entry. That's a good pass to Samuel Tete. Great save by Felix Che. He had to make the body big, open up his body and deny the advancing attacker.
That was brilliant there from Felix Che. He spread his body so well, limiting Samuel Tete from having very good angle to shoot the ball. But the angle was against Samuel Tete. Once he blocked the open part, Look at him, the withdrawal, the steps forward and going low to make that save.
Safo, who just got yellow carded, has gone down, complains of pain around his ankle. He's put in a very good performance despite some of the aggressive showings this afternoon.
It doesn't look like he'll be able to continue. That tackle was always going to bring him trouble.
So, Frimpong Manso will be forced to make the change because of the injury to Safo. But it could be a blessing in disguise because of the aggressive nature of Safo. If you keep him in the next 15 minutes, he might just get a red card because of how he's been playing. Boach's cross intercepted by Mubarak, not the best, but Danso doesn't make it count as Felix Che collects it coolly.
There's about the fourth effort he's had on target, but lacks that quality to get a goal. Was always feeble, doesn't have the power and the pace around it to worry goalkeeper Felix Che. Maybe he should be calling for some venom. Get the strikes.
A cut over an hour mark to wrap up the game here in Abrankese. It's Nations FC 2, Medeama Sporting Club 1. Here's Medeama's Fatau Sulemana. In the meantime, Nations have taken off Ivan Safo and replaced them with Sulemana Suini Sawidu. Here's Abdul Salam. He drives one, takes a deflection of Ragza Simpson, but Dina Bariwi won't allow it to go for a corner.
Because he just already taking his time. He's clearly not going to rush into making any challenge.
That's Gripman there, complains of a knock on the forehead.
The build up to the last chance, he had a tussle with Salim Adams, and he went in there with an arm. So it was rather fatal. Yeah, that was clearly
just tit for tat, I guess.
Exactly. You don't spray hot water on me and expect me to give you cold.
It doesn't work that way. Flag is up, but the referee is still looking on. Roland Addy's flag is up. No, there was an earlier offside decision. Referee doesn't seem to be on the same page with the assistant referee. Apia, good play from the winger. Abdul Salam, Kingsley Braye loses possession and Danso with the clearance. Mubarak controls calmly. He finds his centre-back partner, Mensah. Sulemana. Here is Danso. The foul against Danso. Mashoud Abdullah getting ready to come on for Brandon Entry Sarpon. He's had a fine game.
No, he's quite had a very good game. Has made good runs, made some quick passing. There have been a couple of times where his decision making was not really appreciated or dignified by Igwe. So like for likes of Tijin Abdullah coming on down the flanks. He also has the quality to escape dribbles.
And now Medeama have a free kick. in a very advantageous position. Into one fouls, Nations 8 Medeama. Free kick, and this is where Salim Adams can be dangerous. He's got that in his locker. Fatal Sulemana is also aiming at it.
Look at it, steal away there by Godness Chapasu. Caught in the end. Danso brought him down. So Elia foul in the build-up to this foul.
Fatal Sulemana steps back. Salim drives one and has missed the post by inches.
You can see Hadina Barry wasn't worried. He knew that pass, that wall was going to do its job perfectly well, and there was no way Salim getting the ball away from that wall was going to get on target. A good goalkeeper and smart from him.
Danso. Nations trying to make it 3. Apia. Babio. Too much on it for Abdul Salam as Badina Bariwi makes light work of that one.
Hussein Salam was calling for the ball. He wanted it to be played low. Well, it was played high. Barrio also is going to be the first to that.
Mubarak Yusuf puts himself under pressure, but referee whistles to his advantage after the challenge by Samuel Tete.
Look at that, yes, Mubarak trying to get himself away from danger. Samuel Tete in a bid to win that late challenge.
Yause, Salim, Bebil, swings in across, Briar's header. Bariwi seems to have been impeded by Abdul Salam in the process trying to grab the ball.
A very good delivery there. Briar was leaning, an attempt to get onto that ball. Abdul Salam was looking for the scrap.
Reserve goalkeeper Lawrence Ansa is already warming up in anticipation of replacing the injured Hadina Bariwi in the event he's unable to continue. That's the build up to the Medeama opening goal. Well taken corner, and Braille rising above everyone. Didn't quite get the clean header, but he did get a goal. But this was cleaner. Good thumping header from the captain Razak Simpson to bring them back on level pegging, and that penalty handball against Yawase. Even Ayiko's goal would be disallowed, but Simpson will make the penalty count to give Medeama a tall order in the game. Mashoud Abdullah's cross to Danso. Soini Sulemana. Jack Pasuk gets the ball away. Here is Simpson. Watch it. Into the Medeama territory as Mubarak loses the aerial ball to Samuel Tete. Here is Danso. Good ball to Afa. He's unable to make it count. It's Salim Adams. Good ball looking for Braye. This clever from Badina Bariui. The composure and the calmness from him, very encouraging for a young goalkeeper who is only a second choice here. Now Mashoud Abdallah on the right. He sends a cross. Mubarak Yusuf gets it away, but it nearly went into his own post.
That was a teasing cross there. Mashoud Abdallah coming in with fresh. Let's continue from where Brandon Anchin left it. Quick delivery, quick whip into the penalty area, just on the edge of the goalkeeper's territory. And the experienced Mubarak knew exactly what to do. He couldn't take chances. Safety first approach, clearing the ball for a corner kick.
Five more minutes to 90, and his nation still leading 2-1. And they have a corner to be taken by the player who delivered the corner for the equalizer, Danso, and also created that penalty. He goes low. Foul against Nations. Mashoud Abdallah, the culprit.
Corner kick wasted. Expecting him to meet the ball instead of trying to obstruct his man, Tao Sulemana.
Four minutes away from full 90. The Simpson double keeps Nations in the lead against Medeama, who scored the opening goal through Braye as early as the 8th minute. Their second defeat in the season is staring at them in the face with 4 minutes to go. Here is Nations, Samuel Tete. Nobody there to connect onto that pass.
Nations might have been workaholic, plunging all the loose ends in their team, but they haven't made good use of possession on the ball the second half, unlike the first half.
An aimless kick from Jakwasu goes straight to Badina Bariui. He knows that he's usually better than these deliveries.
The quality that he has, and he's to be getting better than what he's actually delivered.
Here is Afa, chance to drive. He drives, but it's gone way over the bar for a goal kick.
Always rising too much weight, too much power. And that from Afa. This position is expected to pick your spots and go in a lot more direct with the outside of his foot. Look at that, it was always going to curl and move away.
Foul against Razak Simpson for that challenge on Salim Adams. Bebil takes the free kick quick. Now Yao say. Only recently, Medeama announced the signing of David Odro from Nations Football Club. He's expected to fill in that place left by Kamara Dini Mahmoudou alongside Yao say. He's not match fit, and so Ibrahim Tanko decided to leave him out of the matchday squad for today's game. Simpson beats Salam to it. Yalse. Salam played together with Simpson at Ashford and knows him so well. Salim with a drive, good save by Bariui. You can't underrate Salim Adams from those distances. He will take you by surprise. But Bariui rose to the occasion.
That was a sweet hiss.
And here is Afa on the move for Nations. Jakwasu tracks back. And referee Richard Watson whistles for a foul against Medeama.
Look at that great opportunity. There was no way Salim, God knows, Jepasu could have allowed that ball to progress. Thank you, Fa. It's just been brilliant today. And as much as he hasn't had that freedom and liberty to get into the final third as he wants, has been too hot to handle by Medeama's midfield and defense.
Free kick Nations. Sawudu, Sulemana and Kwame Boachi, but this is like Kwame Boachi's territory. He might just fancy bending one with that cultured left foot of his. 5 additional minutes. Boachi delivers, and there's a brilliant save by Felix Che to deny Kwame Boachi. Well taken free kick, and a show-stopping save by the Medeama goalie.
Excellent goalkeeping there. Felix Che going with his arm, tipping that over the bar. He knew he had to jump. Boachi with the quality, with the technique, with the expertise to score free kicks and whipping in nice set pieces. But quite a very decent save there from Felix Che.
Good delivery by Kwamboachi. The moment he stepped up on that side, you realize that that left foot had some job to do, and he did it so well. But for the brilliance of Che, there's a corner for Nations. We're into 5 additional minutes at the Kwame Che Sports Complex. Abdallah. Yaosai gets it away. Boahin, for a player who has not played so many games, to put up such a decent performance is truly commendable. Emmanuel Boahin, and he's gone off after that challenge with Fatal Sulemana. He's down injured.
I think it was a poor control from him, trying to keep the ball with his head. It went in. You cannot really blame him. He was trying to steal the ball away, but Fatal was quicker.
And referee is calling on the medical team of Medeama to get onto the pitch, of Nations to get onto the pitch and attend to Nations right back Emmanuel Boahin. Medeama feels it could be some time wasting antics.
Well, it could be at this point in time. Nations will be ticking all the time left to play to try delay while away time, and also just confuse the opponents.
They still will keep their 8-point gap on the league log, awaiting the rest of the games tomorrow. And on Sunday, Kotoko will take on Hearts of Lions in Pando tomorrow. Then on Sunday, Hazabuk, another club on 35 points, will be hoping to close in as they take on Bechem United at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Remember, that game on Sunday will be Hazabuk's home game, hoping to make the most of home advantage. Here is Abdallah, swings in one.
Once again, the end product little to be desired.
Danso twisted and turning around Kofi Berbil. It's a good pass, brilliant play, but Siwedu Suini gets his effort going way off target. The former Dreams man seems to be settling in well in Nations.
Let's try to get him more minutes than he used to get at Dreams Football Club, and that is what every player wants. He had an injury that set him back a little bit. It will take him some time to get to his very best.
Nations have a foul, and it's Suwedu Sulemana Sohini at the receiving end from that high foot of Kingsley Braye.
Just look at that, that's a high foot there. Kingsley Braye should know better.
He's got long legs and didn't bother. Sulemana was going in with the head for the ball. We're into the final seconds of stoppage time in Abrankese, as Nations are a few seconds away from returning to winning ways, having lost to Samatex last weekend in Samra Boy. For Medeama, it will only be their second defeat of the season. Focus will switch to next week in the Cup games. For Nations, it will be huge motivation for them into that game against All Blacks on Sunday. Medeama would want to quickly get back on track with their aim to get a double when they come up against Samatex next weekend. But here is God knows Jack Basu. Jack Basu for Medeama. He goes down. Referee says get on, play on, no foul. Now Danso looking for Samuel Tete. Che comes forward. He finds Mubarak Yusuf. Here is Apia. Salim Adams. Simpson's header. Watches clearance. Final whistle. Nations FC have put the brakes on Medeama Sporting Club to hand them their second defeat of the season at a place they call their fortress. 11 home games, 7 wins and 4 draws for Nations FC. They beat Medeama here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex, a game that saw them come from a goal down following Kingsley Breyer's opening goal, a double from Razak Simpson, and a man of the match performance from him has handed Nations precious points, and that's everything to thank God for, to bring back this team to winning ways. An amazing game that was not short of excitement, competitiveness and desire from both sets of players. Goalkeeper Hadina Bariwi played a key role in the game that saw the home side lead in terms of possession at 51, 9 corners for them, showing how serious they were to win this game. An amazing performance by our standards by Nations FC. Full time at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex in Abrankese. Nations FC 2, Medeama SC 1.
Have lost here. Nations beating them by 2 goals to 1. 2 goals from Razak Simpson was enough to condemn Medeama to a defeat. And I've been joined by the head coach of Medeama SC, Ibrahim Tanko. Coach, I mean, commiseration to you. You started well, scored an early goal. Then after that, you capitulated. What really happened?
No, I think after the first goal, definitely we allowed them to take every ball, second balls, all the second balls they won. So, and the pressure was too high, and I don't know why, but I mean, this is a game. Anyhow, you are going to lose a game, but I think here is very painful.
Okay. Now, I mean, the 2 goals that you considered, do you think that you could have done something better, especially the first one?
No, of course. I mean, this is set pieces. Every player have his opponent. But sometimes you can do everything and they will score. But I think we have the better chances in terms of clear chances in play. And we lose today. We are going to prepare very well and then see what the next
Of
game.
course, now you've lost, but are there phases of the game that pleased you a bit?
Oh, a lot. I mean, like I said, we created the chances. Definitely Kingsley, Kevin, and then here Prince. We should have scored one of them. So we didn't play bad. I mean, we lose 2-1, and we are going to prepare for our next game, definitely.
After 17 games, you've lost. I wouldn't say finally, but how would you ensure that you get back to your consistency, which is winning or drawing?
No, I think I always said, even if you win or lose, I always said that Premier League is always a challenge. Every week you have to prove yourself. I mean, the boys saw it. I talked to them now. We lose as a team, so we have to go and then prepare to the next game.
Well, Coach, we wish you all the best in your next game. Coach Ibrahim Tanko, he is the head coach of Medeama. They've lost by 2-1 the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. They scored first early in the first half, but they could not hold on as Nations FC came back strongly to score 2 goals. Now, the man who masterminded the winner for Nations FC, Frimpong Manso, is here. Coach, I mean, you talked about how important this win would be. Tell me, how are you feeling after winning this one?
No, I think you can see the atmosphere around the stadium. I think we needed these points, and I think we worked very hard for it. It's not something that came by chance. We worked very hard for the win. Yeah.
Now, you considered an early goal. Then I saw you call a few of the boys and you were talking to them. What exactly were you telling them?
No, before the game, I told them about a certain situation, and then it happened. So I was reminding them that this is what I was telling you. But then they were all confident. I mean, it was early, but we didn't want it to have effect on us. So we calmed our nerves and then tried to go for the game. So for me, I think it was a very nice win for us. Yeah.
Now your captain, Razak Simpson, scoring 2 goals there. What do you make of him as a player?
Yeah, it's something that we have been working on. We worked on only yesterday on set pieces, and it came, and then he scored. Yeah, that was the position he was there, so he was supposed to stand and then attack the ball, and he had it right. Yeah.
Now going forward, how important or how much of a boost is this win to Nations FC? Because you've been struggling for some time now.
No, it's been with our away games, which we need to improve. We have to improve on our away games. And I think this win will give us the motivation to go for the away games.
Well, wish you the very best in your future games. Head coach of Nations FC, Frimpong Manso. They've won by 2-1, and it's a big one for them. The most valuable player in today's game, Razak Simpson. Razak, I mean, 2 goals from you. Before the game, I spoke to coach and he talked about how important it will be to be the leaders. As the captain of the side, how much of a boost is this win?
Oh, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. Like, I'm overwhelmed because looking at this season, like, things has not been the same as last season or last 2 seasons. So as a captain of this nation, I'm a little bit worried, but I know what my boys can do, and I know what the coach that has come also can do. So I just give thanks to God.
Of course. Now, when you consider that early goal, I saw you organize the boys at the back, and you were telling them to calm down. And you told them you were telling them something. What exactly were you discussing?
I told them, like, initially when we were about to start, like, they were a little bit down. I don't know why, but when we considered the goal, I told them to just stay calm because I know the game will be in our favor because we have really trained. Coming from Samatex to this place, we were coming into this game full vim. So I have the hope that we are going to win.
Now, the first goal, you peeled at the back, headed the ball into the net. I mean, it is something that you've been practicing in training because I saw Salim closest to you, but you were able to peel from him.
Yeah, sure. Like, during the start of the season, that's how I move, but I don't want to say much. But we have really practiced about that. My movement, me and Oko, we know how we move and everything. So, yeah, that's what I
And the penalty coming up against Felix Shea, it's not an easy task. But how were you so composed to slot the ball into the net?
I'm like, I don't know what, but I've been practicing, and I believe in my craft. I believe in myself, and I know that, like, I will score. And Felix Shea, whenever he comes here, I score against him, so I know that I will be scoring.
Going forward, how much of an importance is this win to Nations because you've not been playing well?
Yeah, very big important. It will give us the morale into the next game because they are the league leaders, and us this season it's not been well with us, and we winning against the league leaders, I think it will give us much.
Well, Razak, we wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations for being the man of the match in today's game. Michael Akomia will join me so that we wrap up this one here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Behind the scenes, you were talking about the fact that this is the best game that you've seen from Nations FC. What a performance.
What a performance. I think they've been able to continue their unbeaten run right here at Abrankese. It was a game of total commitment where these players needed to showcase their quality through a lot of things. I think one of them being with how they pressed Medeama, especially with their midfield trial. We spoke about it before the game, and I was thinking about how do you make sure that this midfield doesn't play around your midfield, and I think they did that job so well, especially looking at their wingers drifting in centrally just to come and overload Medeama's midfield in that area, and they were able to counter press, move in quick transitions, create the needed chances from a set piece. What a quality goal from the onset. Then you look at the second goal, which was through a penalty. Even before the penalty, that was a good move from Richard Danso. Moving to the penalty box, the cutback came in. There was a foul, referee whistled, but that was a brilliant finish by Yuko. Finally, I would say that is a goal, but they had a penalty. Razak Sensei, leadership by example, stood behind it, and what a goal from him.
If you have a player like Razak Simpson, how important is he to the squad, not just on the field, but even with the way he plays? Is that a motivation to the rest of the boys?
I think he brings a level of calmness and authority whenever he's on the field.
Because when they conceded that early goal, I saw him organize the boys and he was having a discussion with them. He was actually making gestures to say, calm down, we are still in the game.
He told them to calm down, and leadership by example. Look at the corner kick, how he moved into that particular space.
To be able to peel away from
and
Salim.
Where he picked the spot to head the ball to. And you would understand that this is a leadership performance from Razak Simpson. I'm so proud of his performance today. That was absolutely brilliant on that level of skill, where a lot of people were expecting a lot from him. This is a Medeama team that have gone 17 games unbeaten. This is not an easy feat. Comes here, you lead by example, and you break that jinx.
But for a team like Nations who have suffered in recent times, results have not been kind enough to them. How much of a boost would this be going for? Because you've beaten the league leaders.
And I think back-to-back wins, they beat Adriana last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now they've beaten Medeama. I think these are two teams in the league. I think tactically they are strong. Consistently, they've been able to get some good results. So if you beat these two teams and it doesn't propel you to do better in the next games, then I don't know what else. This game alone should be an intrinsic motivation for the team to hold on to whatever they have, be consistent enough, focused, and have a run of games. And I think they can have themselves stay in the Ghana Premier League.
Is this a setback to Medeama?
I think
looking at their consistency, because they had gone 17 games without a defeat.
This is a blow in the first place. But I think for them, 5 points difference, even if Adriana Stars, the likes of Koroko, you don't know what will happen tomorrow. But everything will be decided after the games tomorrow and on Sunday. If it is decided, the worst of it is going to be about 5 points difference between the first and the second place. And I think for Medeama, they are good to go. They should just be calm and keep on going.
Well, Michael Akomia believes that Medeama are still in the running for the title. But Sunday, we will come your way again with another big game. It is Hartlepool who will be playing Bechem United at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. And we'll bring you that game live on your screens at 3:30 p.m. It's a big one, but this is where we call it a wrap here from the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. My name is Mutala Yakubu. It has been the Ghana Premier League on TV3 and on Nuya TV. I did this with Michael Akomia, Nana Dakwajesi, and Calvin also were in commentary position. From the APL crew here, we say have a good evening. Let's meet on Sunday for Hartlepool against Bechem United.
It's the Clash of the Titans on Match Day 22 in the Ghana Premier League as the top four engage in two hot duels. On Friday live, high-flying league leaders Medeama SC welcome second place the Ghana Stars to the Takwa TNA Stadium, and in the Super Clash on Sunday, Accra Hearts of Oak travel to Kumasi to battle Asante Kotoko for Ghana's topmost football bragging rights. Catch the Ghana Premier League live on TV3. The Ghana Premier League. It's more than 3 points.